Hey everybody! Okay, I'm using a brand new video system. I hope it works. Today I want to talk about three-way calls. Today at Tanya's training, as usual, it was how do I start a conversation? How do I set up a call? And we teach about how to tell a story, we teach about mixers, and everybody knows if you do a ton of three-way calls, everything goes great from there, but either you don't see the value or you don't know how to do it. So I was the worst. You know what? I was the one that if I set up a three-way call, I didn't really do my part, and I expected my sponsor to be right there ready for me whenever I needed her, but I wasn't willing to put in the work and run my own business. And so I don't think I duplicated the best three-way call methods forward. So I really want to share with you what I decided to do and what I decided to change. And so my PGV went from could not get $1,000 in to get our overrides and leadership, which is a huge part of our check, to $2, $3, $4,000 PGVs now. It took about 6 months to do because I, just like everybody else, you know what, you plant a seed today, you really don't get to see the full growth until 90 days. So it was consistent effort, but how did I do it? And what should you do? And let me just say, if you really want to be successful, this is what you focus on. Don't focus as much on the selling the products. Focus a little bit more on the things that go around that, and the product sales happen as a byproduct. And so that's true. So if there's something on this list you're not doing, I want to challenge you to ask yourself why. And if you're like me, you're not doing your part, but you want your sponsor to come to your rescue and do the calls and the mixers and provide the training, all that kind of stuff. Take your phone call, respond to your text because you need it right now. But you know what? Are you doing your part? So that's what I had to kind of do for me. And what I found was actually when I started doing this stuff, I didn't need so much help. So I hope this is huge for you because my business grew so much as a result. And when you really take ownership of your business is when you quit picking and choosing from the things that are being advised. If you think enough of the advice to take some of it, the only reason I didn't take all of it was laziness and pride. And so when I started to take all of it, I realized, I don't really need anything. I just need to do what I've been taught, quit asking questions. So here's what I was taught, and here's what I started to do, and I owe it to you to share. So how do you slam dunk your three-way calls? Your list has to be written down. If you don't keep it written, then just refer to the last 20 seconds of the video, okay? You're not going to win, and it's really, are we doing what we're supposed to do while we're asking for all this help? So this is huge. This solves a lot of problems. So from your list, as you're talking to someone, it's actually, are you listening? It's not so much talking. The conversation starts, and then you ask some questions, and you start to listen. And the format that I was taught and that I love is FORM. F stands for family, O for occupation or job or what do you do for a living. R, you may know enough about them to say, so how's your running going? How's your tennis going? How's your kids' softball going? How's your crafting going? Or what do you like to do for fun if you're meeting somebody new? But in your mind, you're just mentally asking questions. You're literally gathering information. And then the M stands for message. This is where you've gathered enough information that you present Advocare as the solution. If you ask somebody questions about their family and their job and their fun, you know what? They're going to mention weight loss, sleep, job dissatisfaction, energy, something. And now you can present it, Advocare as a solution. And the way you do that is through a story. If you're brand new and you only have your story, tell that one. If you've been around, the whole purpose of sharing stories is you kind of collect those stories. You can tell them your story plus one more that sort of shows somebody that was in their shoes that Advocare solved that problem. Then you're done. Your job is to be a preview. Now remember I said, if you can stop trying to sell that person the product, sell them the challenge, or sell them saying yes to the business, and start selling the call, get focused on keeping your list written down, following the questions instead of talking. If you don't have a written list and you're still talking to people, don't call your sponsor and say, what should I say to this person? You're not executing what you already know. Follow this. Be really disciplined about this. And then when you get to the point of your message, position your head where I am the preview, and this phone call is the movie, or this mixer that's up next is the movie, or this business opportunity. You really kind of have three choices. So when do you know when to use what, right? That's the age-old question. When you're brand new, it's always the call first. The call is going to give you how to talk. We're going to model for you how to do consults. We're going to model for you how to handle objections. You literally tell your friend, I really don't know anything except for how much I love these products. Really, 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 you've got to And here's where you edify your sponsor, and you never say sponsor, but you edify your friend, and you say, you've really got to talk to my friend. Super fun, really can help you through everything. I don't want to say something wrong. You will love her. Do you have 10 minutes tomorrow to just get on the phone and let her do a consultation? If it's not for you, no big deal, but she can do the consult and sort of advise you where to start and answer all your questions, and I can't, you will love her. So you're making it fun, short, all these positive things. Now, what you're doing is you're selling me. You're selling the call. You're not trying to sell them products necessarily. Why do you do that? I have learned in AdvoCare, there's a reason the high money makers really, really, really urge us to use a game on tracker and the success system. I used to think, total moment of transparency, that they wanted access to my network. You know what? It's not true. That is not true. Because I could only get so far not using my third-party credibility sources, and you become so convicted about convincing people to do things. Whereas if you look at the options on the Game On Tracker, three-way call, mixer, business opportunity, large meeting, successful, this is the table. You're going to invite people to the table and show them what's available for them to feast on. They decide what to feast on. So what I now know is getting myself and my list to the three-way call and then to the next event is my job. In the meantime, they will decide if they're going to start taking products, and I start helping them along the way with products. Otherwise, I am forceful. Does that make sense? And so I get them to the table. They decide what to eat and when to eat. And then I invite them to the next feast. They decide whether or not to come. When they get there, they decide what to eat and when to eat. And as a result, I have experienced, we went from somewhere $48,000 year before last to we closed out over six figures because of this. Because I quit, picking and choosing, not keeping a written list, not doing my part, which I'm fixing to share with you guys, and not using a Game On Tracker, just trying to let it be all about letting me convince people what to do. And this way, I just get them to the events and let the events kind of do the selling for me, and then my friends and family, my prospects, they decide what to do after they've seen what I see. Huge difference in your attitude. And again, you're the preview, the call, the mixer, and the event is the movie. So I said when you're early on, you always do three-way calls. My opinion, and I talked to Denise about this, and we agree there's an art to this. No easy answer. It's a gray area. So this is where you get to decide. My opinion about when to use three-way calls after you've done about 10 for products. Or after you've just done a lot and you're like, I can get people started on products. I hate to do this call process. Because it does take a little bit of organizing. Two reasons. One, if you think the person has, even if they're telling you they don't want business, if you think they have potential for business, you do a three-way call. Because if they ever say yes, one of the big, if not the biggest purpose of a three-way call is to model to your prospect that this is what we do next. If you never put anybody on a three-way call and then you start preaching to your team, put your people on the phone with me, you look like a hypocrite and it won't happen. It doesn't happen, so you don't win, so it doesn't work, so you might as well do your three-way call, even if that person is already ready to start products, because you think if they ever do business, so this is art. There's art to that. So potential business, or yes, I'm interested in the business, or yes, I'm interested in the discount, because people who get the discount often do the business. So kind of reserve it for business and business potential, and that person who asks you a question, and you haven't heard a story about somebody with that yet, that's a great opportunity, even as a seasoned veteran, to say, you know what, let's get on the phone with my advisor. Maybe she knows. And even if your advisor doesn't know, you're going to have a super fun conversation, and they're going to get that third-party credibility, that sense of community, and they're going to hear another story, which is going to add conviction to them, which increases their product loyalty when you do find their answer. What you don't want to do is play the age-old game of telephone. Let me learn all about you and gather all your information. Let me discover that you need gluten-free issues. Okay, let me go to my sponsor. Here's all their information. Here's what I need from you, and then the sponsor answers you, and you go back and give it to them. That is the exact opposite of what we want to do. When that happens, you say, ew, I don't know, and then boom, let's do a three-way call. Now I'm going to get the benefit of third-party credibility, increased customer loyalty and satisfaction, and I'm going to learn a story, because my sponsor's going to share a story that now I can put in my back pocket and use next time. Much more efficient than playing this text game or call back and forth or Facebook inbox. That's inefficient. So use a three-way call in that situation when you have a special population, and again, always for business. So those are great questions when you have them. I just wanted to put the answer out in a way that everybody kind of knows for reference. So how was I not doing my part? Here I am taking time out of Denise's day, time out of my friend's day, expecting them to do all of their part. I wasn't doing mine. So what do? how do you make sure that you're honoring, and bringing your best to bear, so for your own success, but also to honor them. Number one, you get a spark in that person's body before you get them on the phone. You and I both know that we heard words a lot different coming from Advocare after we felt that first spark. So definitely do that. There's another, way to sample them. Sample them. I wouldn't sample somebody on Omegas necessarily. Awesome product, but you don't feel it right away. You want an impact product. Makes sense, right? So then when you follow up, you're saying, the one-on-one process is asking all those questions, present Advocare as a solution, say, hey, here's a sample. This is why I'm sampling you this particularly, usually 98% of the time. Try a Spark. This is what everybody loves. I just want you to see how well these products work. This is for mental focus, not necessarily energy. I'll follow up with you tomorrow. And then if you're interested, I'll tell you what we do next. Hey, how are you feeling? You feel fantastic. I know you love it. You want to buy some? Super. Well, you know what? I also noticed you mentioned whatever else they mentioned that Advocare can help with. I'd love for you to experience that. How would you like to learn about that? Yeah, sure. Here is what we do next. My fun, super knowledgeable friend Anna has helped me so much, and she can do a quick consult in like 10 minutes and come up with something that fits you, and that way I know we're not wasting your money, and you will absolutely love her. But if I can get a hold of her, when do you have 10 minutes to talk? So I've told Edified Sponsor, made it super short, fun, and beneficial to them. And I'm excited about it, right? So Impact Magazine, on the spot, if I am not going to see them for the follow-up, I go, hold on, run out to your car, get your Impact Magazine. Even if you just open it to Drew Brees or something they recognize. Or if you know right away, this person told me energy or weight loss, and here's a weight loss story. My impacts are already marked at the stories. You open and you point. This is somebody that's done this. This is somebody that's done that. Here, you're going to want to look through this, and I've tabbed some things for you. So while you're drinking your Spark, definitely check that out. Sample and Impact Magazine. As a sponsor, this is your business. You're the CEO. If you expect your team to do their part, we have to invest as well, okay? So have these things ready to go. I love it if you also, I know that this third step is something that I started doing, and I know Rosalind Powell does, and her team does, and ain't no question about them. They're growing like hotcakes. So I want to share this with you guys to use. Use 24daychallengemovie.com. It's 6 minutes long, and it's so easy to go, hey, I've got a 6-minute overview. If you watch that and that sounds as good to you as what it's done for me is great, but watch that. If that sounds good to you, what we're going to do next is talk to my coach. Make sure that that's the right place for you to start, and it's the right thing, okay? Or if there's another video that you know of, sometimes there's you just have been around long enough and there's a story of somebody and you're talking to this person and they're making you think of this other person that's got the results they're looking for, and there's all these YouTube stories. Maybe they're not looking for a 24-day challenge. Maybe they are. Speaking of Roz, she's nice and slim, but she was on 6 Cokes a day, and she really, really wants and loved the idea of a direct sales business. Had I taken the time to form her and get to know her, I would have been able to send her a video of somebody who had great, like Crystal Thurber. Crystal Thurber is not a weight loss person, but she is a type A, go get them, build a big, awesome business and have fun with your friends type. If I'd have sent her a video of Crystal Thurber first on, she'd have been all in like that, right? So I just want to say, something short and sweet to add that third layer. So sample Impact Magazine, and then 3, a short video. Oh, at that point, they're so excited when you say, oh my gosh, you got to meet my coach. I'm excited for you too. You guys have a 10 or 15 minute conversation. It's a slam dunk. But you have to do your part. You can't just go into it with like this nervous, I just was wondering if you're interested in learning about Advocare. Would you like to do a 3-way call? And then tell everybody, well, I don't know what to do. My 3-way calls don't ever happen. Or you do that and they go, okay, and it's weird. So you call your sponsor right away and you don't set it up and you're not professional about it. You don't set an appointment. Your sponsor doesn't answer the phone. Now you're all mad. My sponsor's not available for me. It's their fault my business isn't working. So do your part, set up the call and all that good stuff. You're going to find a huge amount of success. So what is your sponsor's job? Let's be sure we're clear. Your sponsor's job is to provide and show them the kind of community we have and that they're part of a team, and to form them. They're going to ask them about themselves so that they can see we are all about our customers. We're going to model a consultation for you if you're brand new. If you're not brand new, we're just going to do it so that your prospect gets the benefit of a formal 3-way call. So if they ever decide to do the business, they see this is how it's done. So we're going to model 3-way calls. This is while you're, after you've done a 3-way call, your first three-way call as a business builder with a prospect, you're now coming at it from, okay, I'm learning how to do these for my team, not just I'm getting somebody started on products. There's always a twofold purpose there. And then the third thing is we're going to tell our story plus another, recommend a way to start. We provide that third-party credibility, ask them if they have any questions. We're off the phone. Sponsor's job is not to go meet with your prospects, go develop relationship with your prospects, sell to your prospects, get to know your prospects for you. Sponsor's job is a 15-minute phone call. Okay, we're going to do that for you and bring third-party credibility to the table and love on these people and provide as much support as we feel like they need and make sure that they know they're part of a team. So that has to be very, very clear. This part's on you. All this big relationship stuff, this is your job. These are your customers, right? After that's over, you're the checkout person. And so you just say, what would you like to do? What'd you think? How would you like to get started? What sounded like a good fit for you? You know, whatever your wording is. And the sponsor's gone. Okay? So we don't want you to ever feel like we're trying to step in and run your business, and we don't want you to rely on that either, because it really is yours. So this is how you slam dunk a three-way call. This is been very successful, and I hope this answers all the questions. The age-old question of what do I say? You do a lot of listening, and then when you hear something that you can position Advocare as a solution, you know Advocare solves that problem, tell a story. And if you don't have a story to match their specific, just tell yours. Everybody can do that. Keep a written list. Do a lot of listening. Tell your story. Sample them. Impact Magazine and a little video. Now, hey, little side note. Impact Magazine, say you're out. If you're like me and you didn't order them for a long time, because I didn't, like I said, remember, I was the person who didn't do my part. Or say you don't have it with you, or you're too far from your car, or they're excited and you're on the phone and they live in California. Have them pull up choosethechallenge.com and have them click for at least 2 or 3 things that you know are meaningful to them because you've invested time to get to know them. Be excited with them, get them through that process, and then send them a follow-up video and get them on the phone with your sponsor. Again, remember when you're brand new, everybody, because you're learning terminology, you're learning how to answer questions, you're learning the rhythm of how your advisor does things. And so why in the world would you go out there and try to do it without just watching somebody else do it? I mean, what a blessing, right? Then after you get in a groove there, then it's special populations questions, because you're never going to play relay. You're always going to do three-way calls to answer, to gather stories you don't have. And always business, because your sponsor is your business team leader. You want to model how you want if that person goes into business and then they want, you are going to obviously say, well, you want to do a three-way call because you need my third-party credibility. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? Because you didn't do it for them. So always make sure you model three-way calls for all your business people, because if they're out there, they might sell like hotcakes, but if you don't model success system, they're not going to do success system. So thank y'all so much for your attention. Sorry that I talk so fast. This is my third recording to try to slow that down, and so hopefully it's beneficial to somebody. See ya.